It was at this moment when I realized I truly loved Taizai. And the reason why is because the amount of foreshadowing that was actually done in this series. The thing is, anime-onlys might not realize the actual real scope of the foreshadowing when it comes to this episode of Taizai. See, 24-episode series, it feels like it's a lot, but it doesn't feel like it's a lot because we get all this content in a span of like a season or two. But us manga readers, this was around chapter 97, 96 when this content happened in the manga, and so that's a long freaking time, like 96, 97 weeks, and that's not counting any breaks, so you gotta think about that. That's a long time, and that gradual build-up and foreshadowing was kind of impressive, so you gotta give compliments to the writer of the series for doing the foreshadowing to Elizabeth's eye, this new eye that has popped up. Now, if the anime gives some details, I could actually elaborate and explain what the eye is, but I really can't since some details haven't really been explained. It would spoil you anime-onlys. So I'm just going to, slide past not even going to explain the eye. Thing is, from what we could see from what was demonstrated in this episode, it has an effect against the Demon Clan. You see how Hendrickson, his skin was dissolving, and you saw it how life was getting reborn, and there's also a weakness to this power. If someone is already dead or lost their life, this power cannot resurrect the dead. So that was clarified, and so when Hawk died in this episode, Elizabeth can't revive him. So here's the thing. I know everybody is probably awestruck and just like, whoa, when you saw that unexpected character death of Hawk, because Hawk is like the mascot of the series. He is the mascot of Taizai, and when you saw him since the very beginning, everybody looked at him as the mascot, and to see how this character just runs in front of Elizabeth and Meliodas and then dies like that in this episode, it's really tragic. It really is. So, I wonder how anime-onlys feel about this. I remember how I felt about it, but I wonder how you anime-onlys feel about that. So, if you can, explain your feelings and thoughts to me, please let me know. I'd like to see what you feel. So, this episode of Taizai, my boy Hendrickson reckoned everybody. Dude, everybody got curb stomped. Like, you see Hendrickson transform at the beginning of this episode. As soon as he transforms, the entire tone and atmosphere of Taizai just changes like that. It just changes. And all of a sudden, you see this dude, Hendrickson, he's just walking. And you just see these holy knights have been, kind of built up, and, they're strong. They're the holy knights of the damn kingdom. And they're all ganging up on Hendrickson, all these well-known holy knights, too, and they got wrecked. Like, you saw Hendrickson flying around, snapping people's necks, like, ripping their heads off, cutting them in half. I mean, it was just ridiculous. His speed and damage, and then and then you just see how he was killing everybody with, like, death magic. That right there, man, is just so fucking beast. So, one thing I noticed with this episode, which shocked me, because the manga didn't do that. Now, I don't know necessarily if it is the translators that did that, or if that actually is the correct translation or not, but manga readers most likely know what I'm about to point out. In this episode, it clarifies that Hendrickson is gone. In the manga, it never clarified that Hendrickson was gone. Like, it never clarified that at all at this point. And I'm like, whoa. So, my suspicions I had when I was doing manga chapter reviews of Hendrickson turned out to be correct. Damn. So, anyways, the thing is, Hendrickson is gone, as we can see. Like, the Gray Demon has taken over his body, if the translations are correct from this episode of Taizai. So, the Gray Demon has taken over Hendrickson's body, and is now trying to get the Goddess Clan's blood and all that, and, yeah, use it. So, right there, I like that. I really do. I just like the way this episode handled Hendrickson and all that, because the music, that fucking music, man, like when you hear that scary tone and atmosphere, especially when you see Hendrickson walk onto the battlefield, or when you see Gil Thunder, he's shitting a brick, he's looking at Hendrickson at the end of the episode, and you just see this menacing eyes, like you would see the menacing words. If this was JoJo, that would have had menacing all over the screen right there, because he he was the very definition of menacing in Taizai when you just saw him walk up to Gil Thunder like that. Gil Thunder looked like he was shitting bricks. He was so scared. And so, yeah, it just goes to show you how strong Hendrickson is. But what's even funnier, though, if you start looking at the fight, you have it where Meliodas, he comes in and he starts, you know, fighting Hendrickson after he gets kind of healed, and he punches Hendrickson, and Hendrickson, you know, at first he seems like he's fine. He's like, oh, I'm ready to go again. And all of a sudden he looks down, and he's like, oh, shit, I've been hit. And then, like, 3 seconds later in the anime, and he collapses over. That crap happened in the manga, too. I remember laughing my ass off at that, because just seeing how fast Meliodas wrecked Hendrickson right there, just punched him in the fucking gut. He didn't even realize him and falls back over. That was funny. That was really, really, really funny. So, episode of Taizai. It's obvious the foreshadowing and the writer of the series has hinted at these elements a lot when it comes to Elizabeth's power. If you do not believe me, they showed some clips and scenes of what Elizabeth has done in the past. Now, the Veronica and the father scene, that should have already been shown a long time ago, but they decided to cut it out on Veronica's backstory. Veronica's pretty much a shell of her former character from the manga, so you really don't know majority of any backstory between Veronica and Elizabeth at all. So you were supposed to see Veronica and the Kings, you know, being injured, and Elizabeth being there in a flashback a long time ago, around the, you know, the time when we were revealed Meliodas' demon form. That's when we should have found out about that. So, yeah, they kind of removed some foreshadowing there, but the foreshadowing is still there because you had the doctor that got healed, you had it where Meliodas got healed, and it pretty much gets the point across. That's how early on this mangaka was foreshadowing this, and also hiding the eye of Elizabeth, too. You gotta like that character design. So yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this week's episode? Next week is the finale. Love y'all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.